This is the psyche of white America. Not all, but for the majority. Most of white America have always been scared of black and brown folks getting justice, getting equality, getting what's fair, because they want to hold and cling on to white supremacy so dearly, that system that protects their privilege, that dominant hierarchy position of whiteness. That being said, I'm going to say something and I want you to let it set. I just want you to sit with it. Let it settle into your consciousness. Just let it sit with you for a while before you get into your feelings, into your denial, into your ignorance, into your delusion racially. Just let it set and listen. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Why does America keep voting against its own self-interest? Why do we continue to do things that undermine our very well-being? White supremacy is the living, festering cancer, devouring our nation from the inside out. It's the toxic force behind every backward policy. The exact reason we're so stunned and shamefully far behind other developed nations. White supremacy, the very thing white America claims to despise, yet simultaneously denies, gaslights about, actively avoids, and utterly ignores, all while perpetrating racism. The reason this country keeps voting against its own damn self-interest, the reason we consistently shoot ourselves in the foot, is brutally simple. Pure terrified fear of a black and brown nation. Fact. This isn't new. This isn't just about today. This is history's cruelest loop. We love white supremacy. We embrace slavery. We clung to Jim Crow. We have always chosen to poison our own wells rather than allow an ounce of equality. This obsession breeds internal hate, forces us into a blind.
So my people, welcome back to Van TV Media, and if you're new, please just consider subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view. So my people, white people are now coming up to call their own to stop whatever they were doing to black people. Because you see, most of the time white people were racist to black people. White people were discriminating black people. It has just made them to realize that whatever they were doing, it is coming to punish them, so that they have now come out to ask for their loved one, to ask for their own, to change on whatever they usually do here in America. So just listen to this video and we will be back.
You know, a white person said something to me the other day that shocked me. Not really, but it kind of did, coming from this individual, because they were actually being honest. Usually all they do is gaslight and bullshit, but they actually had a breakdown and had an honest moment. When we were talking about race in America, she said, "I don't think black people deserve equality and justice because they could never get enough." And I realized, for the first time I've ever talked to this person about race, she was actually being brutally honest. And I also realized this is the psyche of white America. Not all, but for the majority. Most of white America have always been scared of black and brown folks getting justice, getting equality, getting what's fair, because they want to hold and cling on to white supremacy so dearly, that system that protects their privilege, that dominant hierarchy position of whiteness. That being said, I'm going to say something and I want you to let it set. I just want you to sit with it. Let it settle into your consciousness. Just let it sit with you for a while before you get into your feelings, into your denial, into your ignorance, into your delusion racially. Just let it set and listen. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Why does America keep voting against its own self-interest? Why do we continue to do things that undermine our very well-being? White supremacy is the living, festering cancer, devouring our nation from the inside out. It's the toxic force behind every backward policy. The exact reason we're so stunned and shamefully far behind other developed nations. White supremacy, the very thing white America claims to despise, yet simultaneously denies, gaslights about, actively avoids, and utterly ignores, all while perpetrating racism. The reason this country keeps voting against its own damn self-interest, the reason we consistently shoot ourselves in the foot is brutally simple. Pure terrified fear of a black and brown nation. Fact. This isn't new. This isn't just about today. This is history's cruelest loop. We love white supremacy. We embrace slavery. We clung to Jim Crow. We have always chosen to poison our own wells rather than allow an ounce of equality. This obsession breeds internal hate, forces us into a blind, ignorant delusion. It has weaponized us against each other. White against white, race against race, culture against culture. This is the profound damage to your psyche, your society. We'd rather bleed our own nation dry, sacrifice our cities, our health, our economy, our global credibility, than loosen one pathetic finger from white privilege. You thought you could weaponize white supremacy to justify your own greed, to hoard power. All you've done is destroy yourselves and your own fucking nation. Imagine a nation so diseased by racism, so desperate to cling to its twisted sense of white superiority. It would rather self-destruct, rip apart its own democracy and watch its citizens suffer and die. That nation is America. Face the ugly fucking truth. Look at what we've done. Cutting Medicaid, slashing SNAP, sacrificing the vulnerable for billionaire tax breaks, abandoning humanitarian aid, annihilating our global standing, our very morality, actively suppressing votes, tearing down our democracy, building the world's largest prison system, shattering families, all because of the white man's greatest, most pathetic fear that black and brown people might actually be treated fairly. Our air is poisoned, our infrastructure is collapsing, our schools are failing, all because we'd rather cling to archaic racist structures that build a decent, functional society for ourselves. Understand this, we aren't just hurting black and brown communities. No, we are actively killing ourselves as a nation. Our racism has so crippled us, we'd choose a pedophile felon to run the country simply because he was a racist strongman. We are willingly plunging into fascism, sacrificing our fundamental liberties and economic equality, all because we choose white supremacy over freedom. Every damn bit of it for the sake of the ignorant, hateful disease festering in our hearts. So white America, hear this. Stop being cowards. Look into the fucking mirror. This cancer of white supremacy is consuming us. If you don't tear it down, if you don't confront this fear, you will watch this nation die. Your nation, our nation. The time for denial is over. The time to choose is now. I'll say it again. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Fact. Oh, it's the black man's fault that he's in the position. Well, what about black on black crime? I mean, it goes on and on and on. You know, I mean, I could sit here all day and give you examples. All lives matter. I mean, it just goes on all day. Black people ask for justice. White people find a way to try to obscure it, to try to take it away from it, to try to demean it. We are colonizers. And I say that based on our behavior, collectively as white people. And until we stop being gaslighters and colonizers, white people are on a path of self-destruction. White supremacy, the lies of white supremacy, the colonizing mentality has never brought the white man happiness, and it never will. It's toxic, dysfunctional, and self-defeating. And it's not helping us. And now there's all this white rage because when the abuser loses control, he gets angry. And then Trump was born because we had a black president. And he was perfect because he was racist. And that's what white America wanted because they're angry, because they felt like they were losing control. Because colonizers have to have control. And we had a black president. And everybody just shit all over themselves. White people just freak the fuck out. Oh my God, we're losing control. We have a black president. He's going to oppress us and enslave us. God knows we're going to be whipped and lynched. This is literally, I think, some of the thoughts, the subconscious. I'm exaggerating, but in a way it's true. The greatest fear of the colonizer is all that evil, vile shit that we did will be done up unto them, us. And that's why there's so much white rage. The numbers are changing. Pretty soon, white people will not be the majority. The abuser loses control. So what do? We continue gaslighting. We continue with white rage. White domestic terrorism on the rise. The greatest threat in America. White people are enraged because they can no longer control their victims, black and brown people, the way that they want to. They're losing some of their power, some of their positions, some of their privilege. They feel threatened. So here we are, in a state of crazy, utter chaos. That's why I say the lie of white supremacy is our destruction. When white folks say black people didn't earn it, we know that's just projection. 95% of Trump's cabinet is completely incompetent, unqualified white people. In America, the good old boy network is often more the reality than merit-based hiring. This is a perfect example of why DEI exists in the first place. Because in America, obviously, inequality, discrimination, and white racism is off the fucking charts. And it always has been. These are facts, folks. So when they say merit-based hiring, fuck you. A perfect example. Obama, as a black man, had to be literally perfect in every possible fucking way imaginable to get elected. He was a highly educated lawyer, a genuine family man, literally zero scandals, experienced in government, who was a true unifier that possessed integrity, moral character, ethics, eloquence, intelligence, and carried himself with dignity, respect, and he honored the office. With Trump, there's too many amoral, inhumane things to list, so I just touch on a few. Trump, as a white man, was elected despite being the most divisive, corrupt, immature, lying, manipulative, deceitful, treasonous, fascist, and criminal person to ever run for the presidency. Not to mention, who is a proven sexual predator and an openly racist person. My point is this: black folks in America need more than just merits and qualifications to get into positions in many white-run establishments. Not only do they have to be perfect, they need establishments and institutions that do not discriminate, which is why in a white supremacist nation, DEI is critical to help with equality and justice. But now the term DEI and DEI hire is being recoined as the new N-word for many far-right racists like our current administration. Important initiatives like CRT and words like woke have been distorted and demonized by far-right extremists in order to destroy racial progress and justice. These are the modern narratives of our diseased white supremacist nation. So when that racist motherfucker Trump says black and brown folks didn't earn it, he's just fucking projecting. Because he is likely the most unqualified, degenerate leader of a country in human history. Remember this. If you remember anything, remember this. There's only one reason why diversity, equity, and inclusion is being aggressively dismantled, why black history is literally being erased, and why brown and black immigrants are being rounded up. Because our government is currently leading the largest white supremacist movement since Jim Crow laws started in 1865. Never let their hate and inhumanity become normalized. We must fight these racist, far-right extremists at every single turn. Good luck. Most white people are racist. The thing that white people hate to hear, and the thing that white people refuse to acknowledge and fix. When I say most white people are racist, what I mean is the majority of white people are racist. And I know this to be true. And if you're an honest person, you know it to be true. Yes, white people are racist. And it's very simple as to why. Some white people are the perpetrators of racism. Some white people enjoy discriminating against black people and brown people. They enjoy seeing inequality being distributed. They enjoy their white privilege and they work to protect it. They enjoy using the N-word. They are Trump supporters. They support politicians and lawmakers that promote racism. These are the perpetrators. These are the covert and overt racists, people that actually spew racism in all kinds of different ways, whether discrimination through words, through behavior, so many different ways. And then you have all the other white Americans that support it. And they support it how? By ignoring it. A massive millions and millions and millions of white people right now in America are actively ignoring white supremacy. And it's an art. It's a culture. It's what we do. We're masters as a white people at pretending white supremacy is not real, at pretending inequality is not real, at pretending all the statistics, all the racial data, all the racial disparities in every single American institution is not real. We are masters at ignoring it. And then the other thing that we do to support white supremacy is we deny it. Yes, the majority of white people deny white privilege, deny white supremacy, deny racial injustice. They thrive on denying it. It's part of their livelihood. So when I say white people are racist, it's because if we're not perpetrating it, we're supporting it. And until that changes, most white people are racist.
It might be because I'm neurodivergent, but it takes a while for me to notice certain taboos. I recently, within the past couple weeks, found another taboo topic. Specifically, white people don't really like to talk about systemic racism or really anything to do with race, period. Because the past couple weeks, I had been listening to this video series on YouTube. It's called Crash Course Black American History. And I really like it, and I've been really into it the past couple weeks, to the point where I'm like, have you listened to this? You should listen to it. So I was at work, and it was only other white people there. That was the thing. We were talking about things that we were listening to, and I told them what I was listening to. Crash Course Black American History. Everybody should listen to it. That's the gist of what I said. I just basically said that it was really educational, and people could learn a lot from it, and Americans should listen to it. Immediately, the room got really silent and tense, and I was like, oh, I guess this is a topic we don't talk about? I kind of wonder if it's like maybe white people kind of want to hide the truth or like not talk about it because it'll make them feel too guilty. But from my like neurodivergent perspective, I think that these emotions aren't necessarily a bad thing and they should come up when we learn about this stuff. And the whole point is to like educate ourselves and then process whatever emotions come up however they need to in our own little, bubble. And then when we're ready to, we all get back together, every single one of us, and we collaborate and we're like, hey, we never want that to happen again. So how do all of us, take steps forward together and create something better for all of us? I feel like that's kind of like a no-duh way of thinking. And so then I bring up, and I feel like I bring it up in a socially appropriate way where it's just like, yeah, I've been listening to this. But still, like every single time I bring the topic up around white people, they get uncomfortable. It almost like frustrates me because I'm like, why is this such a taboo topic? Because even when I bring up topics like feminism or disability rights or something along those lines, it's even a little bit more accepted. I'll still be able to have normal conversation, but the moment that I bring up systemic racism, issues that we have with race, or like the history of Black Americans, all of a sudden, the room gets weirdly tense and it's weird. I think we should start having uncomfortable conversations. This is important for like everybody. And I also understand in the example that I brought up, it was at work, but still, like, I've just noticed that as a pattern in general, like, anytime I bring it up, most white people get really uncomfortable. I just think we're ready to move past that,
So, as I have told you, white people, the racism that was there, in all whatever they were doing, they took themselves ahead than black people. They saw that black people can't tell them anything to follow. They thought that black people are supposed to be down and them to be on top, and it has made them to realize that those decisions that they usually do has punished them a lot. Whenever you see in election, white people find themselves putting in the counterpart, putting in the man or the guy who is a white man, leaving a black people to choose for their own. So this has made them to feel like they have been punished in whatever steps they are doing. They have now realized that black people are the one to make them, are the one to protect them in some cases. So my people, just drop your comment and tell us what you've got from these people who are white complaining on how their life is in America.